second things crashed and we weren't millionaires anymore, we're back to JK News, right?
You know what?
I like that that's the base.
I've always been a millionaire on paper. How about that?
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty good.
Always on paper. And celebrity net worth.
So anybody heard of the crypto king?
Steve Green?
Who's the crypto king?
Steve Green's.
But somebody else has self-described himself as, quote, crypto king.
Who's this bum, dude?
You know, he's a 23-year-old, actually.
Is it
Self-described
Jim Cramer?
who reportedly
He's the stock king.
just had his Lamborghini, his BMWs, and his McLaren seized after investors sued him, claiming he stole $35 million.
Did he rug pull?
Oh
He
shit.
might have rug pulled.
Might have, but you know, this
Did he
is-
Ponzi?
Once I read through this, I think this is actually kind of a fair conversation. It's a bit of a discussion. I don't think it's as one-sided as maybe.
We're gonna make it one-sided.
I like open shut cases. Don't make me think.
Let's make it one-sided.
Tell me who to blame so I can blame him.
Aiden Pletersky, I don't know, who calls himself Crypto King, real original, had $2 million of assets seized. All right, he reportedly was given $35 million by a total of 140 investors. Now he's being sued by former investors in a bankruptcy proceeding and 2 civil lawsuits.
Whoa.
I mean, at 23 years old, you're able to crowdfund that much. That's a talent in itself.
Yeah, this guy's good.
Yeah, he just used his power for evil. That's it.
How do you do it?
So
PowerPoints.
again, with things like the crypto and the blockchain community at that time, I think that there's a little bit of like needing to set the foundation of understanding everybody who's in that space plays by a different set of rules, though. You know what I mean? The way that they see money is different. It's like an average person maybe can turn like $100 into like $100,000, and they're not looking at that $100,000 like a normal person who works for $100,000. You know what I mean? They're
That makes
looking at
sense,
that
yeah.
like, oh, it came from 1,000, so maybe they still emotionally feel like it's like 1,000, and they're willing to trade at a riskier level because they made it so quick, right?
Right.
So the way that people move money around, I just think it's important to understand.
You know the
that
feeling.
just look at it different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Many of us were like millionaires on the blockchain for a short period of time, but it didn't really change the real world. The second things crashed and we weren't millionaires anymore, we're back to JK News, right?
You know what?
I like that that's the base.
I've always been a millionaire on paper. How about that?
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty good.
Always on paper. And celebrity net worth.
But that's where Ryan's got us, man. Ryan,
I'm the crypto king.
not just wild, he's zany.
He's zany.
How do you think your evaluation got so high?
Because it's real.
I don't know how that even happened.
That's why he doesn't ever need to work. Like, he's like the least working person out of all of us. We keep throwing him like responsibilities on JK News, and he's like, "Yeah, I could do it." And I'm like, "When do you have time to do other stuff, man?"
I'm sitting on 19 million in unreported income.
And he has all this like money to throw because he's always buying us donuts every morning. And I'm like, as the boss of this company, I feel like that's something I should be doing, is getting catering for the crew. But like, you're coming here blowing guap on the mochi donut. Blowing guap, bro.
I haven't heard that so long, bro.
If I don't spend it, then it goes to the man. So you know.
Yeah, it's tax write-off.
Fuck the man.
But he ain't even getting the regular Cambodian donuts, dude. They're mochi donuts. That shit's like premium.
That's high-ticket item.
I want you guys to live the good life.
That's the good stuff. So investors said that at least $35 million was given to Pletersky's company, AP Private Equity Limited, and it went missing. 29 creditors have a bankruptcy proceeding against Pletersky and say he owes them almost $13 million, including one 65-year-old woman who told CBC Toronto she invested $60,000 that she was keeping for her grandchildren's education.
How did he, that's remarkable. How did you get a 60-year-old to invest in crypto? Because like, 60-year-old they don't even know what fucking Bitcoin is.
This guy started investing in crypto as a teenager. Obviously, he was able to like turn some shit into some real shit. He got 140 plus people to give him $35 million. Like, that's why it's a little. It really depends on which side of the sword you're kind of like sitting on in terms of rights and wrongs.
Yeah, because
right?
this happens all the time, and people just take the L, right?
Yeah, kind of. Because what's the grounds for what you're actually, even a rug pull, like how do you even, well, I guess mainly a lot of rug pulls happen in the last fucking like 24 months, but like, what's the lawsuit realistically? You know what I'm saying? In an unregulated space that is not controlled by the government or SEC, these things are happening, and then claims are being filed that like X amount of money is being taken for whatever promised concept.
Yeah.
But you're really just giving a bunch of money to a 22-year-old. Like, what, you know what I mean? What's the investment strategy?
Yeah, you kind of know the risk once you're giving it to them.
What's the difference between this and any other business that people find crowdfunding for? Like, were there promises made?
The difference is unregulated.
And then also just the volatility of the crypto market, right? Like, when like non-super heavy crypto people are in the bull market, that facade of all is great is there. You're just blanketed by this like never-ending possibility of glory and riches.
Yeah.
But then you're not, if you haven't sat through a crash before, you're just not ready for it. No matter how many people are like, there's always a crash, there's always a winter, something's gonna happen. You're just not sitting there thinking about it every day, especially if you're not dedicating your whole life to it. And even when you're dedicating a bunch of time, you still might miss the crash like some of us did. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
I guess my question is more like, is this an Enron type of situation where he did some Ponzi shit, he did some fucked up illegal stuff? Or is it just like he was a kid with an idea and he was somehow, it caught wildfire, people were throwing money at him, and then like he couldn't execute, and the business just failed?
so from the, I guess if he's the defendant on this, his lawyer is basically saying that the claims against him by former investors are wildly exaggerated. Says, quote, shockingly, it seems that nobody bothered to consider what would happen if the cryptocurrency market plummeted, or whether Aiden, as a very young man, was qualified to handle these types of
So it's their fault for impulsively throwing money at him.
Because they wanted the riches, right? They saw everyone getting rich off of it.
That's like, okay, I get it if he was running a Ponzi, if he was running something really fucked up, then that makes sense because he did something illegal.
Right.
But like, let's say this kid's like, yo, check this out, I got the next best thing, it's gonna beat fucking Flaming Hot Cheetos. And you're like, no way, for real? And he goes, yeah, but I haven't even made a product yet, but I got a great idea. And then they're like, I love the idea, here's fucking $5 million. Obviously this guy's gonna fuck it all up, he's never ran a company or done anything in his life. And then you come back to him and say, yo, where's that Flaming Hot that you're gonna make? What happened?
That's probably what happened.
But then the Lamborghini purchase, though, I'm just like, should you be doing that on borrowed money? See, that is
the harder part.
What were the vehicles that got
Lamborghinis, BMWs,
Well, what
McLarens.
if it's his money? What if he like
from prior crypto shit? That's fine.
I'm sure he had like some earlier like successes to be like, hey, look at I did great. Maybe it was.
Well, that is
or
sure.
maybe it
Sure,
was
if
other
that's
people's thing.
what if that was his money,
Yeah,
but
but-
I think the second you're caught in both,
then
you know, it's like, well,
yeah.
that's the world you're playing in too, right?
He sounds like he just was like, at least the prosecution's trying to say that he was Madoffing it. You know, like he was doing the Ponzi shit where he's like, oh, invest money with me. Hey, here's some returns. It went great, but it was just some other guy's money.
In a meeting with creditors, Pleterski reportedly told them he was, quote, very unorganized and didn't keep records of his investments.
Like all crypto 23-year-olds.
His trustee told creditors that Pleterski said he lost the money he had received between late 2021 and early 2022 in a series of margin calls and bad trades.
Oh,
This is a familiar story to us. Right now, Pleterski doesn't have a criminal charge against him, but is facing the bankruptcy proceeding and the 2 civil lawsuits. But maybe it's because, again, we're sitting in a room where a bunch of us have made a lot of money and lost a lot of money in the same types of things. It's kind of like, this seems like an end of the road for people that are trying to like go after this guy for the money, especially if he doesn't have it, or if he actually did lose it, which I get why they're pulling his fucking expensive cars. But if you go deeper and he doesn't have the money, he doesn't have the money.
Yeah, what's the
he doesn't
point?
got it.
Like, y'all lost the money too, you know what I mean? It's kind of how it is.
It does blow my mind though how many people get into this space, whether it's stocks or real estate, just investing in general, and they act like risks and losses aren't a part of the game. So like in crypto, you hear people like always, you know, giving out like info, advice maybe, and then like some people choose to take it, and then it doesn't go as planned or whatever, and then they blame the person that gave them the info. That's why I'm like, don't fucking do it, dude. But there are people that want to help others, and then they fucking do it, and then they get burnt for it. And I'm like, that's why maybe you shouldn't help people who aren't investors. Because people that don't invest, like their mentality for it, it is. You could logically tell them, and they'll be like, yeah, I know it's risky, but they don't think it's gonna happen to them.
Yeah.
Because they know the answers, and they're like, it's not gonna happen to me because like I know more than everybody else. And then, but they can't emotionally handle it when it does happen.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know, man. Every single time people are like, how do you do this? How do you do that? I'm all like, I don't know. I'm stupid. But I'll take the advice and I'll fucking do it. But I'll never blame the person that helped me, even if they helped me lose a lot.
But the fact that he got 140 different investors to give him that sum of
pretty
money,
impressive, yeah.
he's pretty legit.
Yeah.
He's got a.
So he's clearly good at what he does. It's
Yeah.
just
20. Yeah.
he just got caught doing it.
I wonder what the pitch is. How do you say it? How do you say it?
Do you want to make full-time money on a part-time business? Come with me. I'll show you how to make a home-based business.
It's so bland.
I want to make full time.
Are you tired of having a full-time 9-to-5 job? Are you?
Well, are you?
Hey, this guy's pressuring me, man. Take my money.
How about you become your own boss?
Oh, I never thought of it.
Aren't you tired for working for someone else making them rich? Well, guess what? Be like me. I'm 22 years old, and I already had $1 million by
Hey,
the time I was 21.
Honestly, that's a big draw. Like, it's just that's why he's buying all that shit. Like, you will invest money with someone that's got a lot of money, of course.
Yeah, that's like, you don't gotta say
rolling up
anything.
with his fucking Honda CRV, right? With little Taiwanese flags.
It's like realtors. You know, like realtors when they rent like a nice car, so that when they meet you at the property, they don't look like a fucking bum.
Dude, that's the funniest thing to me, because I'm like, so I'm like, dude, you're irresponsible with money. I know how much you probably make, and you're spending way too much to look rich. But that's because once you get it, right? But then maybe like if you're a 9-to-5er, you don't really get it. So it's kind of like people who think when you're part of a pyramid scam, you actually are part of a business. Because they dress like in suits and shit. They don't know, right? Like, you've been working at a fucking restaurant all your life. How would you know that this is an absolute con? Like, you know, especially if you're young. And then I think it's the same thing with the whole like agent stuff, right? You want to work with a successful agent. I just want someone that looks clean and knows what the fuck they're talking about. I think that's the key. But you got to know if they're talking about the right shit.
You gotta know about the signs.
Exactly.
I will judge a man by his suit.
Well, what if
It's like, is that a Burlington Coat Factory suit and a big 5 shoes? Like,
It's like that meme that shows that suit that's like hella big for the guy, and it goes, if your public defender looks like this, you're going to jail.
If it's not, you know what? I judge more on the fit. If they know how to fucking have a right,
Get it tailored?
tailored suit.
Why?
If it's clean,
What if he's like that guy, but then he's like really good? Do you know what I mean? He just spends a lot of time in his work. Then
Chances are he's not, though. Chances are.
that tells me he's scattered. He's all over the place.
oh, I see.
Cause like it doesn't really matter about those things, right? Because what's important is this person clean, good hygiene? Do they know what they're talking about? Is their car well kept, right? So like some people are like Bill Gates, where they'll have a Camry and they don't give a fuck about anything else. They have no fashion sense, but they're really good at what they do.
yeah, the anomalies are different, right? If
Anomalies,
there's somebody
yeah.
that's like, that don't look
Exception.
like they could do it, but they're like the #1 in the world, it's like, okay, that exception, I'm totally
Right,
cool
but in
with,
general,
That's why it's like chances are.
Yeah, chances are though.
Like,
it's like,
yeah, you can. It's hard to go on the literally the 0.00001% and base everyone else on that. But if you go generally,
Yeah,
if their
these are
suit
people.
sucks, they probably suck at their job.
Generally,
Especially if they sell suits.
if they come to a job interview 15 minutes late with one shoe on and a fucking stain on their shirt,
I trust that guy. he ate breakfast. Yeah. He has a steak.
He's responsible.
Yeah. He bought something to eat.
He feeds himself.